Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. Terrorists, reportedly numbering over 100, on Sunday stormed Tasha Nagule, a community in Batari local government area of Katsina State, and abducted 31 residents. Batari has seen a resurgence in terrorist activities in recent weeks, featuring twin attacks on security formations last week. In one of the attacks, 2 mobile police officers were killed by the terrorists, who burnt down 2 vehicles of the Nigerian army in the other attack. A religious leader said the attackers surrounded the community before some of them entered through the main exit that leads to the main road. He said the terrorists left their motorcycles outside the community and trekked in. According to the source, residents began gathering at the community center, not knowing that the attackers, some of them wearing military camouflage, were not soldiers. The religious leader said after the terrorists had circled them, they told them to follow them into the forest. He said he slipped out of the group and ran back into his house. The police are yet to react to the incident. Our reporter in Katsina, Abdullahi Yamadi, is joining us now via phone call to give an update on the situation. Hello, Yamadi. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Eugenia.
Well, what is the latest on this attack, and has there been an update from the police?
Well, up to this moment, there is any information regarding the attack from any security organization here in Katsina. And a report from the community is saying that residents have deserted the village to nearby bushes to pass the night there because of the fear of another attack. Especially women and children were seen leaving the village since 5 o'clock this evening to another locations perceived safer to pass the night there. And residents have been waiting for the attackers maybe to call and demand for any ransom, but up to this moment, there is none. According to some information from the community, the chairman of Bazari local government, Alhaji Yusuf Muhammad Yanji, has visited the area, sympathized with the families of the victims, and prayed quick release of the victims. So this is the situation at the moment as far as the issue of Tashar Naguli in Batari local government is concerned. Elsewhere in Kankara, there is a report that just yesterday, Sunday, the Kankara vigilante group was reported to have gruesomely killed a family of 5, including a baby and a 9-year-old girl, at Jidamboka near Ergoje village in Kankara local government. The vigilante group Kankara branch is suspecting a member of the family to have participated in an attack some years ago. And the dead bodies were said to have been conveyed to Kankara Divisional Police Headquarters and later buried in a mass grave in Kankara. People are currently lamenting over the extrajudicial killings being perpetrated by the vigilante group, especially in Kankara and some other local governments where this banditry persists, talking about the frontline local governments here in Katsina State. But efforts to speak to the police public relations officer here in Katsina were not successful. So this is the situation at the moment, Junior.
Talk us through how the community is reacting to this development.
Well, there are a lot of lamentations. When the insecurity continue to escalate, the people are seeing little or no efforts by security organizations, especially the military, on one hand, and then on the other hand, vigilante and the proscribed Ensake, perpetrating serious issues there in some communities. Like I said, this issue of extrajudicial killings is worrying a lot of people in this part of the country because the activities of Ensake and these vigilantes is getting out of hand. And it seems the securities so adamant about it because even the one that was carried out yesterday in Kankara, the dead bodies were conveyed to the divisional police headquarters by the vigilantes themselves. They took them to the police divisional police headquarters.
We'll have to leave it there at this time. We want to thank you for always bringing us up to date, and from time to time we will return to you. Abdullahi Yamadi, our correspondent from Katsina, thank you for reaching out. Tragedy struck at Ongwatandu village of Karu local government area of Nasarawa state as 3 persons who were excavating and loading sand were buried alive. Deputy Chairman of Tipper Union of Tipper and Quarry employers in the area, Aminu Sunusi, confirmed this to newsmen in the Ongwatandu village shortly after they were buried. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report as presented from our studio.
The Deputy Chairman of the Union of Tipper and Quarry employees, Aminu Sanusi, said 4 persons, Dauda Umaru, Abdullahi Ayawa and Zakaria Musa, were the victims of the incident, adding that one of them, Muhammad Nasru, survived and is currently receiving treatment at the hospital. He disclosed that the deceased were excavating sand at the site in Ongwatandu, few kilometers to Kefi but located in Karu local government, when the sand slide and covered them. Sanusi further explained that the dead bodies were later recovered after engaging the service of an excavator. Members of the union with support of villagers dug out the 2 corpses manually, while an excavator removed the 3rd one. He said the recovered bodies have been buried in line with Islamic religious rite. A relative of one of the deceased, who is also workers at the site, was lucky to have escaped the incident. He expressed shock at the incident. While we were loading the sand into the truck, we had a loud shout calling for help, that the sand was falling. We all attempted to go out, but Daudu and the other 2 were unfortunately buried under the sand. I've never felt as unhappy as I feel now that I'm talking to you. While as Muslim that believes in Allah, I reckon that what happened has already been destined by God. According to them, the incident threw people at the site and the community into mourning. On whether any government agency came to the rescue of the victims, an officer of the State Fire Service who spoke to Trust TV on condition of anonymity said the service has not been informed about the incident but heard for the first time from Trust TV correspondent.
In the meantime, the federal government says it will work on the report of forensic experts investigating the cause of the explosion that rocked Bodija area of Ibadan, the Oyo state capital. A search and rescue, as well as investigation on the cause of Bodija Tuesday's blast, is ongoing. Amidst forensic mission, the federal government has hinted on its readiness to work on the report as soon as it is received. Here's that report.
As a group of geologists from the University of Ibadan begins forensic analysis of the Bodija blast site, many are hopeful that the remote cause of the blast will be established in order to forestall a reoccurrence.
Investigation is actually going to give an image of the subsurface and then provide the seismic characteristics of the ground. This can be related to the integrity of the ground, and at the end of it, it's going to give us what has actually happened, the impact of the blast on the ground, and then related to the safety of any kind of structure that is existing or the ones that will be put there in future.
Whether you are a legal miner or a professional miner, we all need explosives in the course of our duty or job. But the way and manner you handle these explosives matter. You don't bring such explosive into a residential setting like we are.
His name was on those petition we found on ground here. So he cannot tell us he does not know. So maybe the investigative agencies, they will find out what actually happened concerning that. Then, when you have explosives in your possession, you're supposed to have magazine for it, not in residential areas. Magazine in your mining site, which is made of concrete, and should be far away from where your people are even working, in case there is any eventualities. And I think in this situation, what happened, there was fire incidents. So that one served as detonation. It took some time before it got to that explosives.
The Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, during a visit to the Bodija blast this morning, pledged to comfort the challenges against the development of solid minerals, adding that there will be a synergy among the three tiers of government to ensure success.
Investigation that's gone on or that is still going on, it will be presumptuous and precipitate for the federal government to make any solid pronouncement or categorical pronouncement on this until we have examined all the forensic analysis reports, all the investigations from all the agencies, the security agencies, the Mines Inspectorate Division of the Ministry of Solid Minerals, and the intelligence arms of the various intelligence arms of the security agencies. They are all working around the clock to ensure that there is an authentic and verifiable forensic report to the federal government.
In his reaction, the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, said his administration will extend the period of providing accommodation to affected victims, while structural integrity tests on the 230 houses at the old Bodija axis is being conducted.
You recall that I told you that the president put a phone call to him to commend him, to sympathize with him and the people of Oyo State and the victims, and also issued a statement thereafter stating this, expressing the same sentiments, and I also did.
We need to extend the temporary accommodation, given to people. We also need to ensure that the place stays secured. All the forensic pathologists, the work they are doing, we have to encourage them to continue. But there's still a lot to be done.
Stakeholders are calling on the federal government to use the lessons learned from the Ibadan blast incident to re-engineering the emergency response aspect of the nation.
In another development, the Kaduna state government has confirmed the death of one person after an explosion in Kidandang community of Giwa local government area on Sunday. 10 children were injured following the explosion, suspected to be from an improvised explosive device. According to preliminary reports from the traditional institution and security agencies, one of the pupils of a local cleric picked up an object from the bush, which later exploded. Meanwhile, a statement by Samuel Arwan, the overseeing commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, said one pupil, Zaidu Usman, has been confirmed dead, while about 10 injured victims are receiving medical attention at the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Shika. The statement further stated that the state governor, Ubasani, has directed the Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs to liaise with security agencies for an urgent investigation into the cause of the explosion, ensure the safety of residents, mobilize emergency support, and ensure prompt medical attention to victims. The Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday voided and set aside the presentation and passage of Rivers State 2024 budget by a 4-member legislature in the state. The court, in a judgment delivered by Justice James Omotosho, ordered the governor of the state, Semi Fubara, to represent the budget to the legally constituted House of Assembly under Speaker Martin Anewile. Here's that report.
Justice Omotosho quashed the withholding of the House of Assembly funds on the ground that the governor had no constitutional power to do so. The court restrained Governor Fubara from frustrating the House of Assembly under Anewile from seating or interfering in the affairs of the House, and also declared the reappointment of the clerk and deputy clerk as null and void. The Inspector General of Police was ordered to immediately give adequate security to the Speaker and legislators loyal to former Governor Nyesom Wike. Justice Omotosho ordered the clerk and the deputy clerk to resume office immediately and unhindered. The National Assembly, according to the judgment, is barred from taking over the Rivers State House of Assembly or accepting or treating any request from Governor Fubara.
The governor, his lordship in clear terms, declared that as of today, the National Assembly do not have any reason or justification to take over the constitutional functions of the Rivers State House of Assembly. So they cannot exercise such powers, and he restrained them. Okay? Secondly, the court equally stated clearly that all acts done by the governor, the 11 defendants, the Attorney General and Rivers State government, while this suit was pending, and after he had made an order on the 30th day of November 2023, were a nullity, including proceedings wherein the governor had purported to have presented to 4 members of the House, led by Honorable Edison.
Governor Fubara was ordered to release all money standing in the credit of the House of Assembly to Martin Amewule.
The 16 members of the Plateau House of Assembly sacked by the Court of Appeal in November of 2023 have vowed to resume legislative duties on Tuesday, despite the appeal court judgment that nullified their elections. The sacked legislators made this known on Monday during a media briefing in Jos, the state capital. Here's that report.
It will be recalled that members who were elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) had their election nullified by the Court of Appeal for lack of party structure and as such could not sponsor candidates in the last elections. The court thereafter declared 16 APC members who came second in the elections as winners. Plateau Governor Caleb Mutfwang's election was also quashed by the same appeal court for the same reason. But Mutfwang's sack was reversed by the Supreme Court in its January 12 judgment, which said that the lower court was wrong in its judgment to nullify the governor's election. Briefing newsman Isha Kumaren, who spoke on behalf of the sacked lawmakers, argued that the Supreme Court judgment, which validated the election of Governor Caleb Mutfwang, was an indication that they were still the authentic members of the House, adding that they were only on recess and will resume duties on Tuesday.
A superior court gave its own verdict regarding the same issue, and in the judgment of the Supreme Court, they said the case that was brought before the Court of Appeal in its entirety was fraudulent, and because the Court of Appeal lacked even jurisdiction to entertain the entire matter, that such a case will be taken to. And by that, by implication, it shows that the verdict of the Court of Appeal is a nullity. And to our greatest dismay, the so-called Court of Appeal members are deceiving themselves that they are coming to the House tomorrow to resume work. But I'm confident to tell you that we are a product of democracy. We are validly elected by the majority of votes that were casted in our various and respective constituencies. And our constituents are willing and ready to accompany us to our sittings tomorrow because they voted us and they are not ready to compromise that. And that is why they are seeing us up to the State Assembly tomorrow for our sitting.
The APC, while responding to the development, said the return of the lawmakers to the House is a call to anarchy. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, Niger communities sue federal government and Hyperdeck over alleged unpaid compensation. More news when we return. Do stay.
Join us for the 21st Daily Trust Dialogue and presentation of the 2023 African of the Year. This year's theme, Tinubu's Economic Reforms, Gainers and Losers, will be chaired by Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, former Minister of National Planning. Guest speakers, Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Victoria Akai, Immediate Past Director General, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Comrade Joe Ajero, President, Nigeria Labour Congress. This event takes place at NAF Conference Center and Suites, Kado Expressway, Abuja on Thursday, 25th of January 2024, 10 a.m. Attendance is free, and you can watch the live broadcast on Star Times, Channel 164 or Nicomsat free to air. For sponsorship, branding, and participation, please contact 081-5176-4600 or 080-3392-8902. Don't miss this insightful dialogue shaping the economic landscape in Nigeria.
For rejoining us. This is News Hour on Trust TV. Another look at our top stories. Terrorists storm Katsina community, abduct over 30 residents, and 3 killed at excavation site in Nasarawa State. Moving to other stories now, reactions have trailed the recent plan to relocate the headquarters of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, and some departments of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, from Abuja to Lagos. A memo conveying the FAN decision had said the decision was meant to help to curb the waste of public resources and also prevent the rot of FAN's abandoned Lagos building, among others. Similarly, the Apex Bank detailed a decongestion action plan designed to optimize the operational environment of the bank. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail spoke with Nigerians on the development and filed in this report.
The public debate began when the Central Bank of Nigeria said it will transfer some of its department to the country's commercial capital, Lagos. Within the same week, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, was directed to relocate its headquarters from Abuja to Lagos. Nigerians have received these decisions with mixed feelings and given the proposal different interpretations.
I said the development for me is encouraging. Why I'm saying it is that there are some people working reside in Lagos, but they are working in Abuja. Their families are there. They find it difficult of going and coming.
I don't think it's a bad idea decentralizing certain powers. We're talking of Nigeria. They didn't move it out of Nigeria, you know. So what I think is decentralizing certain powers will also create further employment.
For all those people thinking that he's trying to move some of the offices out from the north, no, that is, for me, I think is wrong statement for them.
While some Nigerians support the relocation of some departments of the CBN and the Federal Airport Authority from Abuja to Lagos, others shared the sentiments of the Arewa Consultative Forum, which described the move as a deliberate plot against the northern region.
It's part of, how to tackle or to block some part of Nigeria as not as concerned. Because they did not did it. So he came, he made a lot of problem in the country.
The federal capital territory is inside the Abuja. There is no means of taking one part of the CBN to the Lagos, since it's not the federal capital of Nigeria.
Better to leave this fund and that CBN in this federal capital. Anybody you want to work with any state in Nigeria, you come to Abuja to work.
The Federal Airport Authority said it will relocate its headquarters to reduce costs and prevent the rot of FAN's abandoned building in Lagos, among others, while the CBN reportedly said the reason for this action is to decongest its headquarters in Abuja. Speaking on Trust TV's morning show, Daybreak, a veteran journalist, Suleiman Ubagaya, cast suspicion on the real motive behind the relocation of the said organizations.
Unfortunately, just about 7 months after taking over power, we are seeing the manifestations of the same rumor that started 14 months ago. It was denied, like I said, on the 30th of November, and now is taking a life of its own. It started with the CBN, relocating almost half of its staff to Lagos.
However, there are still some Nigerians who believe that this is going to be in the good interest of the country, while others are aligning fears that this is just part of a hidden agenda from the Tinubu administration to weaken the North. Whether the president has a different plan of relocating the nation's capital from Abuja to Lagos, time shall tell. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In a related development, the Northern Senators Forum on Monday called for calm as reactions continue to trail the planned relocation of the headquarters of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria (FAN) and some departments of the Central Bank of Nigeria to Lagos. The forum said there would be an opportunity for dialogue and negotiation on the vexed issue with President Bola Tinubu. In a statement on Monday, the senator representing Kano South Senatorial District, Abdul Rahman Kawu Sumaila, on behalf of the forum, said legal measures will be sought if negotiations fail. He assured that the forum would take action in line with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended, stressing that no one should be apprehensive over the relocation of the critical agencies of government. Kawu Sumaila, who is the spokesperson of the group, said they will engage the executive branch of government and the leadership of the Senate and other relevant stakeholders to actively listen to the concerns of Nigerians. According to him, there were some imbalances in the policies of the government which the forum will address through budgetary allocations. Danu and Jimu communities in Wushishi local government area of Niger State have dragged the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission (NHYPADEC) and Federal Ministries of Justice and Power before the Niger State High Court 4 over alleged unpaid compensation for the damages done to them by the construction of the dam. The National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission (NHYPADEC) is the first defendant in the suit, while the Federal Ministry of Justice and the Federal Ministry of Power are second and third respondents. The communities are demanding for 2 billion naira compensation from the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission and the federal government. Counsel to communities Kabiru Bala Ibrahim told the court that the two communities with about 3,000 residents were directly affected by the construction of Zungeru Hydroelectric Power Dam but were excluded from compensation. He said the dynamite and vibration of machines used for construction had caused damages to some residential houses in the two communities because of their closeness to the dam, arguing that even if the two communities were not initially captured for compensation, they needed to be considered going by damages done to their houses and farmlands. The lawyer alleged that some communities that were captured for compensation were far away from the dam site, denying the direct victims compensation. Justice Mohammed later adjourned the matter till February the 8th, 2024 for continuation. A coalition of Fulani groups in Plateau State have raised the alarm over what they described as targeted killings of their members. The groups, namely Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, Gang Allah Fulani Development Association of Nigeria, GAFDAN, Bajo Fulaku, Jonde Jam, Kautal Hore, Lawal Fulaku, and Tabita Fulaku disclosed this on Monday at a press briefing held in Jos, the state capital. Here is that report.
Briefing newsmen, the groups led by the MACBAN chairman, Nuru Abdullahi, noted that herders, including the chief imam of Undun village of Tangur district of Bokos, were killed at different instances within the month of January 2024. The group said the purpose of the briefing is to alert the federal government and security agencies on the need to stop the incidents of isolated killings in villages of Bokos.
We hereby with heavy hearts address you on this historical day in life to express our total dismay and condemnation over ruthless and continuous massacre of hundreds of thousands of Fulani members of the Fulani community in Mangu, Bokos, and Barikiladi local governments areas respectively.
The major reason why this press conference has been called today is because of the recorded isolated killings that were experienced from this 1st January. So it has just become like a New Year resolution, which is very, very bad. And these things are recipes for crisis. So that is why we saw it needful for this conference, so that we will alert all and sundry on the happenings and possible solutions that will bring lasting peace, more especially on the plateau, and lasting peaceful coexistence among the dwellers of Plateau State, which we are hoping this, by the help of God, will come soonest.
Said Adam, a Fulani youth leader in Bokos, explains their challenges in the area.
After the incident that happened during the Christmas period, in these isolated killings, they killed about 12 Fulanis within that area. And anything that is belonging to Fulani people within the Bokos town, they burn it, they destroy it. Like the Bokos cattle market, it is presently destroyed and the authorities are not talking about it. And another thing is, whenever our people are moving to their various places where they are working, some youth will just stop them and just search them for no reason, even though they are holding nothing. They will search them, they will just take their funds, their money, they will check everything. In some occasions, after they have searched, they realize that you are not holding anything, they will just direct you that you must go to the chief palace and explain yourself for what.
The groups further explained that they had made several attempts to meet with the present state government on possible ways to address the lingering crisis between herders and farmers, to no avail. The groups, while appreciating the effort of Operation Safe Haven for ensuring peace in the state, also decry comments made by some stakeholders calling for self-defense, arguing that such calls will not yield lasting solutions. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The senator representing the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Ireti Kingibe, has claimed that all efforts to reach the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike over insecurity in the capital city have been in vain. The Labour Party lawmaker said she had made several efforts to discuss how to resolve the insecurity in the FCT with the minister without any success. In an interview in Abuja, Kingibe also called for a more structured approach to community policing, as this will help check rising insecurity in the federal capital. The senator explained that a combination of community and regular policing holds the key to solving the FCT's security challenges. On the growing incidences of one-chance operatives in the city, Kingibe said a more efficient and coordinated transportation system to curtail such criminality is urgently needed. She decried the high number of policemen deployed to protect wealthy and influential members of the society, noting that this leaves very few of them to protect the majority of the citizens, who are then left at the mercy of rampaging criminal elements. And still talking security, the recent rise in cases of abductions across the country has become a source of worry for many Nigerians. In Benue State, some residents say the surge in kidnapping is directly connected to the huge ransoms being paid by relatives of abducted victims. This prompted the Minister of Defense, Atiku Bagudu's order that crowdfunding for kidnappers be stopped.
According to some Benue residents, many Nigerians are no longer safe on both the highways and in their homes, as cases of kidnappings are reported ever too often across the length and breadth of Nigeria.
It's very pitiable that loved ones can no longer travel safe on the Nigerian roads. You know, it's quite disheartening. And this has taken place all over the country. In the north, it started in the south, then gradually to the north, and I think it is now more in the north. So no one is any longer safe in the country. I think the government needs to stand up.
While drawing the attention of the state and federal governments to areas like Sankra and Benue State, where crime has become a daily occurrence, they also urged the government to consider a community-based approach to securing the country.
The late Abacha made mention of it, that once insecurity exists for more than 24 hours, the government is behind it. So when the government puts more hands on deck, we should be able to rectify the issue of insecurity in our country. The community are doing their best, but the insecurity, the terrorist people are also influencing the community aspect. But if the government should work harder, we'll be able to get something meaningful.
I can see it's about people in the community that live there, that have access to the kidnappers around the area in the bush. Those boys cannot just come in and kidnap. There must be a link somewhere. And when they have this link, they come in and kidnap and go back. Why go back? I don't understand. Urging the government to please coordinate the affairs of this security, involve the traditional rulers, the community, and the vulnerable people that are there, that feel they are vulnerable. They are still inside. I don't know, maybe the cause of poverty.
With the recent launch of a special unit by the Nigerian police to tackle kidnappers, Nigerians are worried who becomes the next victim, pending when the issue is drastically reduced. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
In that earlier story, we referred to the Minister of Defense as Atiku Bagudu. Point of correction, he is in fact Muhammadu Badaru. A chief magistrate court sitting in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, has fixed Thursday, January the 25th, for hearing on the bail application of the 38 protesters arrested for alleged public disturbance in Lafia. The police had on January 19th, 2024, arrested the protesters for blocking the Lafia-Jos Road after the judgment of the Supreme Court that affirmed the victory of Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. The police said the protesters, comprising 5 men and 33 women, had contravened the peace accord signed by the People's Democratic Party and All Progressives Congress. The magistrate, Muhammad Abdullahi Lanze, fixed Thursday after listening to arguments by counsels to the complainant and defenders on the bail application. He adjourned the sitting while the accused persons would remain at the Lafia Custodian Center till the next adjourned date. The magistrate also ordered the Commissioner of Police to produce the defendants in court on the next adjourned date for hearing of their bail application. No fewer than 6,700 traders have been displaced following a Sunday morning fire outbreak that consumed a section of the Mandolas building. The fire also destroyed 450 shops, 30 offices, including some law firms, 2 hotels, and 5 restaurants. Presently, officials of the Lagos State Safety Commission and Building Control Agency are conducting an integrity test on the affected buildings to determine their safety. Here's that report.
The fire, which started from the first floor of the popular Mandila's house around 11 a.m. on Sunday, later spread to surrounding market stalls at Atunwashe International Market, with equal extensive damages as the main complex. The Iyaloja of Atunwashe International Market Mandilas, Adeni G. Rashidat, said goods worth billions were destroyed by the fire. While we were at home yesterday afternoon, we heard that Mandila's building was burning and we were wondering what could have led to the fire. Though the fire was severe, we however appreciate government's effort to contain it. We cannot say what was the cause of the fire. What got burned in the building is worth billions, so we are appealing to the government to help us. Meanwhile, some of the victims of the fire outbreak have been counting their losses.
Around 2, we got a call that Mandila's building is on fire. So getting here, we find out that the building, starting from the second floor, have already caught fire. The whole place is burning. So I tried going inside through the staircase, but I find out that the fire was really much. So getting to the third floor, then the fire was much, then we start coming down.
I have an office on the 7th floor on the last mall. I'm about 3:30 yesterday, I got a call that the complex was on fire. So we rushed down here. I couldn't get a thing out of my office. It's quite unfortunate. Because of the fire, there are so many unconfirmed news.
So all the weather that is working there, the law caused all this fire.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
They were working there yesterday.
They were working there yesterday. Even though just all this going on there. Because we have to come out to the law.
Territorial Coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in the Southwest region, Ibrahim Farinloye, said the affected houses have been sealed off to avoid loss of human lives. Farinloye made the appeal while assessing the impact of the Sunday fire disaster that occurred at the 16th floors of Old Mandila's building. He said the fire impacted an estimated 6,700 traders, 450 shops, 30 offices, 2 hotels, and 5 restaurants. Farinloye further said officials of Lagos State Safety Commission and Building Control Agency were on ground assessing the integrity of all buildings at the scene. According to him, all structures have been locked down to prevent access to the shop for the safety of traders and the public.
An update by Trust TV reporter on the Mandila's building fire in Lagos. We take a short break now. When we return, more news. Do stay.
Should I keep quiet? And then we kept saying, can't we teach these people basic business, not hustling? Teach our people entrepreneurship, not hustling. Go to China, Guangzhou, different districts. They can turn fair. Am I saying what you don't know?
So this about this thing.
Yeah, but this time around we are talking about appointment of ministers, where there is an express provision in the constitution as regards that.
Let's come to appointment. You know, it is the status of FCT that the constitution has made is too complicated for people to understand.
However, if you are to go backwards and do a kind of audit, you will be shocked to find that the resources so far expended on the SDGs far outstrips the achievements face to face.
Most of the time when you are involved, it's difficult for you to draw back and have a holistic view. Because what? Sentiment would always come to play, because all of us would definitely, I had, like I told you yesterday, I was 100% convinced that you cannot say you are qualified without bringing any document.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Time now to join Yusuf Akogu for Business News Update.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. As Nigerians grapple with tough and biting economy, the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry has said the high inflationary trend is squeezing businesses in the country. ACCI President Dr. Emeka Obiegulu, who stated this on Sunday, asserted that the present inflation's driven down businesses, decried the daunting challenges experienced by entrepreneurs. According to him, the inflationary situation has been worsened by food inflation, which currently stands at 33.93%. Obiegulu said the situation demands that the President Tinubu-led administration take decisive measure to curb the surge in consumer price index across the country. Unilever Nigeria PLC say it has stopped the production and sale of home care and skin cleansing products. This is coming about 10 months after it announced plans to exit both markets. The company disclosed this in its unaudited interim financial statement for the year ended December 31st, 2023, sent to the Nigerian Stock Exchange Limited, NGX. In another statement, the company disclosed that it has appointed an interim board chairman for Unilever Nigeria PLC. The company said the factory that used to produce the home care and skin cleansing product has been leased out to a third party. Dangote Refinery is set to supply fuel to about 150,000 retail outlets operated by Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN. following a meeting between the management of the refinery and executives of Ipman. Commenting on the outcome of the meeting between Ipman and the Dangote refinery, the president of the Ipman, Abubakar Gandhi, said the management of the plant will be supplying product to 150,000 stations of Ipman nationwide. 7 major oil marketers in Nigeria had registered with the refinery for the lifting and distribution of refined petroleum products produced by the 20 billion plant. The 7 major marketers include Double One PLC, Corn Oil, Adova PLC, MRS Oil Nigeria Limited, OVH Energy Marketing Limited, Total Nigerian PLC, and NNPC Retail Outlets. Food inflation continued on the upward trajectory, with food prices staying very high. Now to the forex market. Naira continued to trade way above 1,300 at the parallel market against major currencies of the world. The instability in the FX market indeed continues. Let's see today's figures. In a stunning feat, NGX has secured its position as the world's best performing stock market in the first 3 weeks of 2024, with a remarkable year-to-date return of 26.43%. The NGX has indeed outshone its global counterparts. Let's look at today's numbers. Indeed, a very impressive day out, a very impressive outing again for NGX. Transcorp leading the top market movers here, 66.520 million volume of shares. Veritas Cap also doing greatly. Then, of course, Access Corporation all dominating the activities table today. Of course, this has moved the market to about 1.30%, with, of course, the all share index moving higher to another all-time high of 95,000 basis points. Of course, some of the top gainer today that we are seeing on the tables today, we have the like of Suno Assurance doing so wonderful today on the floor there, 10% it gain. Of course, Dangote Cement also recording a remarkable gain of 9.99%, almost 10%. And of course, Triple Leg also not doing badly there, 9.81%. Indeed, the performance of the Dangote stock market actually drive today's gains that we are seeing on the floor. Of course, let's look at some of the losing equities that we have on this Monday. Flour Mill lost 10%. Cadbury Nigerian PLC also down 10%. And of course, UPL also recording a loss there of about 10% as well. These are the highlights of the stock trading as it went down on the floor of the Nigerian capital market this Monday. Let's look at the stock market from the rest of the world. Finally, in business, oil price edged higher on Monday as traders weigh the impact of wars in the Middle East and Ukraine on oil supply against economic headwind pressuring global oil demand. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $78 per barrel. For the OPEC basket, price rises to $80 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
Away from Nigeria, Joseph Boakai was on Monday sworn in as Liberia's president following his election victory over former football star George Weah with the challenge of tackling poverty and corruption. The 79-year-old narrowly beat former Ballon d'Or winner Weah in November's runoff poll with 50.64% of the vote to 49.36%. He was sworn in for a 6-year term during a ceremony in Parliament in the capital, Monrovia, at 10 a.m. local time in the presence of several foreign leaders and diplomatic delegations. Boakai was vice president from 2006 to 2018 under Liberia's first female president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, before being beaten by Weah in the 2017 election. November's poll in the West African country was peaceful in a region that has seen a succession of military coups in recent years in Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Niger. Dozens of people were buried and 8 confirmed killed when a landslide struck a remote and mountainous part of southwestern China on Monday. Chinese state media said the pre-dawn landslide buried 18 homes and sparked the evacuation of more than 200 people when it struck in Zhejiang County, Yunnan Province. 8 people are confirmed dead, while rescuers have extracted 4, according to a report by state broadcaster CCTV. 200 rescue workers have been dispatched, as well as dozens of fire engines and other equipment, CCTV said. Footage shared on social media by a local broadcaster showed emergency workers in orange jumpsuits and helmets forming ranks outside a fire station as snowflakes whirled through the air. Other images showed rescuers picking through towering piles of collapsed masonry in which few personal belongings could be seen. Chinese President Xi Jinping ordered an all-out rescue to properly handle the work of comforting the families of the deceased and resettling affected people. Let's now join Emmanuel Fashemi for Sports Update.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria are through to the round of 16 after they pipped the White Dogs of Guinea-Bissau 1-0 in their last Group A game at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. Opa Sangate's own goal in the 36th minute of play gave Nigeria victory to place second behind Group A winners Thunders of Equatorial Guinea, who on the other hand trashed host Côte d'Ivoire 4-0 to top the table with 7 points, same points with Nigeria, but led the group on goal difference of +6. The host nation Côte d'Ivoire ended the group on the 3rd position with 3 points, with their only win over last in the group, Guinea-Bissau, in the opening game of AFCON. Meanwhile, Cape Verde versus Egypt and Mozambique against Black Stars of Ghana is currently ongoing. Nigeria earned their first victory of the 26th Africa Men Handball Cup of Nations ongoing in Egypt following their 32-23 triumph over Kenya on Sunday. Coach Rafiu Salami Golden Arrows toted side started the first half with a resolute intention for victory, and despite a late rally by Kenya, Nigeria won the first half 16-19. The second half was same, with Nigeria doing everything they could to get a comfortable 32-23 victory over Kenya. Nigeria will now play a placement match against Republic of Congo on Tuesday by 7 p.m. Nigerian time. And that is it on sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
Thank you, Emmanuel, with that sports update. And with that, we have come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. My name is Eugenia Abu. On behalf of the team here, we thank you for watching.